Roth IRA conversions, all right? Unfortunately, I have a reputation of, oh, Jim Lange, he loves Roth IRA conversions. You go to Jim Lange, he's going to talk you into a Roth IRA conversion. Well, there's a little bit of truth to it, but I'll tell you the reputation, and we can't control our reputation, right? I'll tell you the reputation I would prefer. Jim Lange's firm runs the numbers. The result of running the numbers is very frequently the recommendation comes to do a series of Roth IRA conversions over a period of years. And in that case, we can often save the family a couple $100,000 or maybe even $1 million by doing a series of Roth conversions. That's the reputation I would prefer. That's not what I have. All right. Given that, so I'm not going to go through the basics. You're taking a traditional IRA, 401k, 403b, paying tax on it. Now it's a Roth. All right. So the key to understanding Roths is to understand the concept of purchasing power. All right? So let's say Jack has $1 million in an IRA. All right? We all agree, measured with traditional, whoever has the most money wins, he has $1 million. And Jim, he has $900,000, but he has it not in an IRA, he has it in plain old after-tax dollars. He has less money measured in total dollars than Jack, right? He has $900,000, Jack has $1 million. But if Jack wants to go out and buy a boat, he has to cash in his $1 million IRA, pay $400,000 in tax. He only has $600,000 of purchasing power, all right? Where Jim has $900,000 of purchasing power. I'm more interested in purchasing power than total dollars. So, Jim, I'm going to give you the option. Do you want to be Mr. Roth or do you want to be Mr. Status Quo? It depends. The reason I didn't ask Jack is because I know Jack. So since you're going to be indecisive, I'm going to ask Jack, and I'll tell you right now, it's going to be Roth. All right. So they each have $100,000. They each have $125,000. All right. Jim's hesitating. He doesn't do the conversion. So how much does Jim have? He has $125,000 because he has his 100, he has his $25,000 after tax, he has $125,000 total. If we measure in purchasing power, let's keep it simple, 25% tax rate, he has to cash in his IRA before he can spend any of it. He has to pay tax. I conveniently have the money to pay the tax. He has $100,000 in purchasing power. Okay? Jack, he made the Roth conversion. He used the $25,000 after tax to pay for the conversion. He has $100,000 in total dollars, so he has less total dollars than Jim. Measured in purchasing power, it's a tie. Does everybody get that? It is a tie based on purchasing power on day one. If you do, you're ahead of the vast majority of financial advisors. You're way ahead of the attorneys. Some of the CPAs get this. The key is purchasing power, not total dollars. All right, now Jim, you said you were a quantitative guy, a bunch of other people said. I haven't given you a good enough reason to do a conversion, have I? I just said it was a tie. Would it be helpful if instead of just leaving it as is, we said, okay, let's run the numbers forward for 20 years. All right? Let's see where you would be, Jim, if you didn't convert. You had the IRA growing tax deferred. You had to pay tax every year on the interest and dividends in the 25. Then we're going to measure in purchasing power. And we're going to compare that to Jack. Would that be helpful? And by the way, can I assume that everybody here believes everything that you hear from an attorney? No. Well, what about a financial advisor? Certainly them, right? That's even worse. I don't know which one's worse. CPA, I'm all three. That's really bad. Well, anyway, I knew I was going to have this issue. So in 1997, even before the Roth came out, I said, I want to write the peer review article on Roth IRA conversions, which won Article of the Year. And the tax advisor and peer review, particularly the tax advisor, they have these nitpicking CPAs who just love to sit and tear apart your article. And you have to submit the spreadsheets with it. They want to tear apart. So everything I'm about to show you has been peer reviewed. The only difference between now and the original analysis that I did in '97 is back then the tax rates were higher and the benefits of a Roth conversion were even greater. But anyway, here is where Jack is going to be. Forget the kids, forget the grandkids. This is where Jack is going to be compared to Jim. All right, so 20 years later, he's this much better off. This much is $50,000 though. That's cool, right? To have $50,000 more purchasing power. Now, under existing law, let's say that Jack makes a $100,000 conversion, Jim doesn't, and they each live 20 years. Jack's better off by $50,000 than Jim. They each leave money to their kids. Their kids, under the existing law, take the minimum required distribution of either the IRA or the Roth, and the kids, Jack's kids are better off by $600,000 than Jim's kids. And let's say that using existing law, we leave it to the grandkids. Now, we have millions, what is this, like $8 or $10 million better off, all right? And you say, well, gee, Jim, what about the proposed law? Well, I have that. So this is current law. This is proposed law. This is proposed law if you do a Roth. So if you do a Roth and the new law comes, it's not going to be as good as the current law, but it's going to be a lot better than not doing a Roth at all.